Hey, what's up? I'm Travis.
And I'm Tyler.
And we are
Twisted Transcription Studios.
Today, we're going to do a special track chat about Chris Adler's departure from Lamb of God.
If you follow metal like we do, well, at least our favorite bands, I'm sure you've heard that Lamb of God has parted with their drummer, Chris Adler.
Yeah, we were a little bit shocked about this.
I was really bummed out.
I know. He had been out for a while, and we just assumed that he would be coming back.
Yeah. It really hit me hard. He is probably my favorite drummer, and
yeah, super influential sound. I mean, it kind of sucks. But so they announced back in July that
July 19th, actually.
Yeah, there you go. That Art Cruz, who had been playing this tour, was going to be joining them in the studio.
Yeah. He was originally just going to finish out the tour, and now they brought him in as, I guess, his replacement.
Yep. So that sucks, too. No, nothing against Art. He seems like he's a competent drummer.
Yeah, we've looked at him on a couple videos on YouTube. After I saw this, I was like, I got to chase dude out.
Yeah.
And he played it just as Chris would, but we'll see in the new album,
right.
I guess.
You can't ever really tell, I mean, what kind of creative liberties he was going to take with their sound. It's just it was just an unreal shock. I mean, it was just all of a sudden, hey, this guy's gonna help us finish the tour, and then guess what, guys? He's replacing Chris.
Yeah, he's out for good.
I mean,
just kidding.
I just don't. It's. I mean, I guess I do get it in a way. I mean, sometimes changes had to be made in bands.
Yeah.
But
there's constantly members leaving.
Yeah.
Most of the time you can't really tell it, but sometimes it really stands out. And Chris had a unique sound that I really think you're gonna be able to tell it.
I feel like so. Yeah. Well, Chris actually came out and said, remarked about the post, because a lot of people had apparently been bugging him. Of course, I mean, it's just justified. I would bug him.
Yeah.
But
it took him forever though. He just released it like a couple weeks ago.
A couple weeks ago.
It's like 2 or 3 months.
I guess he just finally got tired of people knocking on his door. But in his post, he mentioned that he had been with the band for 26 years and was thrilled with all the years, more or less. Kind of said that they had done a lot that he really enjoyed, but at the same time, they had done a lot that he
was getting to that repetitive state. I think he said he was tired of playing the same song 10,000 times.
Right. And in that same post, he said that he did not make the decision to leave, really.
Yeah, that was the...
it was kind of vague how he put it.
Both of them were, their post and his post.
Yeah, they're very vague how they put it, so I'm not really sure what actually happened. That's why we're not going to accuse either party. But more or less, the big part of this entire post that he did, and I don't know if I need to quote or whatever, but anyway.
Yeah, I would quote it.
He said in his post, "I support my friends and the dream I allowed them to share in. I loved and am still humbled by every second of the smiles and horns we elicited. There is an ambiguous concept in our world of selling out. I cannot define that outside of my personal understanding, but that know that being trapped in a creative formula and or playing the same song 10,000 times did not bolster my love of playing." Yeah, so that almost sounds like it almost sounds like that it was kind of his decision in that context.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like in every paragraph you're getting a different, like, they kicked him out. He left.
Yeah, I don't know. It's probably, I'm going to say creative differences.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, man. Like, it's weird.
It is weird. And
They're both so vague. Like, he's making it seem like it was them, but it was also him.
Yeah.
Like, who knows?
And I guess I can see where his point is coming from. I mean, they are taking a little bit of a different approach than what they used to take.
Yeah, they're not got that same groove. Like ever since Wrath, I feel, or after Wrath, Resolution and
kind of changed.
Whatever the last one was.
Sturm.
Yeah, Sturm. But it ain't got the same sound.
It doesn't have the same sound, and I don't know if in this he's referencing to like maybe we should go back and play to our roots and stuff like that, and maybe abandon this more weird style. I don't know, or maybe he just wants to try something completely different, and they're telling him, well, this is what's working.
Well, I know back in Sacramento on one of the DVDs, like he was talking about Descending. He said he hated it because it was so rocky sounding, and he didn't want it to be rocky. He wanted to stay metal.
Right.
But I mean, I like the song, but
yeah,
I think that's kind of where it started.
Right.
I mean, Wrath was still heavy, but
and even at that time, even Wrath though was this big change for them in sound. They were a lot more melodic.
Yeah.
In Wrath.
I don't know. I don't mind melodic
stuff. I don't either at all. But
even on the newest or the latest one, Overlord, that was a good song. It was completely different from their style, but I enjoyed it. But then again, there was also a bunch of songs on that album that I was just like.
Yeah. But the term that he used in that selling out term is a very strong term to use when it comes to a metal band, because most of the time
any band, like
you attribute for a metal band, you would attribute selling out to going pop or to going to a much less heavy version of themselves. But to me, they're still heavy.
It's just I don't know. It's hard to explain, and it just got a different sound. And
I think
like it, but I don't like it as much as the old stuff.
I think the way he's using selling out in this post is saying like they found something that is selling, and they're just gonna keep replicating that. That's what, like, with the whole playing the same thing 10,000 times. I mean, they're just replicating the same process every time, and I just think that maybe he just wants to take a different approach. I don't know.
Well, he played with Megadeth for a while.
He did.
And that was when I thought he was going to leave them, but he actually went back on tour with Lamb of God. That was in, like, 16 or 17, I think.
Right.
And once he announced he was playing with Megadeth, I was like, well, he's done, because he stated in multiple occasions that Megadeth was one of his biggest influences and one of his favorite bands.
Right.
So I just assumed he was done at that point, but come back.
Yeah. He did at the end of his post say that you'll hear from him again and all that, and we kind of already have, because the people at a show in Russia with a group of other metal folks.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called.
Yep.
He's doing a bunch of drum clinics too with a bunch of different people. He posted it on his Instagram a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, so I mean, he is still out and everywhere. Of course, he is he's an ultra critically acclaimed drummer. I mean,
he got like the award.
Yeah, for world drummer. Yeah,
like 1 or 2 or 3 times. He's got a bunch.
Yeah, and I mean, to some people, he's like, oh, this guy's a drum god, and some people think he's overrated.
Yeah, a lot of people think he's overrated. I think he's great.
The awards kind of speak for themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, he wouldn't be getting all these awards if he weren't a great drummer. I feel like just because he's gotten so many awards, anybody that makes it and gets kind of in that limelight, people are like, well, he's just overrated.
Yeah.
I mean, but at any rate, he did mention in that same post about the motorcycle accident, because that's kind of what everybody thought initially. Yeah. Like, the reason that Art took over.
That was in, like, 17.
Yep. The reason that Art would have taken over was, he got in a motorcycle accident and he's still hurt.
But he said he's been good since August of 2018, so that's not the reason.
So, yeah, I mean, it's just glad that he addressed that, because that kind of shuts down any of those wonders. He's not hurt, so that's great. Great drummer, still there. But at the same time, yeah, it's still just so ambiguous and vague. I don't know. It's hard to nail down what they did. To go back to Art though, like we said earlier, he sounded very similar in the live shows.
But I mean, I'm not gonna say it's easy to learn somebody's song, but it's
like once you got it, you just play what they played. I mean, it sounds the same, obviously.
I mean, you can always throw your little twist on it, but
right. It's the same kind of sound, and like you said earlier, when he comes into this new album, we could really see what is going to change there, or we could not see, and maybe what he's
try to mimic Chris's sound.
What Chris is saying in his post about doing the same thing over and over again with the formula. Maybe they were forcing Chris on. You've got to play this, man, and
we want this kind of sound.
They might make Art do the same thing. You might not see a change at all because that's their formula.
I don't know. I looked at him. I don't know if we said it, but he played with Prong.
Yeah, Prong.
And I watched Scott. I've never really heard of him, but I went and watched a couple videos of him, and it's all right sound, but it doesn't sound like Chris.
Right.
Like it doesn't. I mean, no drummer plays the same as another unless you're intentionally trying to.
Exactly, and that's it's just very shocking to me. Like, it just kind of hurt my feelings a little bit.
Yeah, it sucked. I was bummed out. I know I sent it to you on Facebook as soon as I saw it, and I was just like, dude.
Yeah, it was a terrible announcement because, like we said, they're extra influential band for us. I mean, we've listened to them since a young age, and kind of sucks that they're kind of finally parting ways. Of course, they've had a lot of we're angry at Randy, we're angry at Chris, we're angry at. I mean, they do that, and every band will do that, I guess. But
I don't know, man.
I didn't think it would happen.
Maybe he'll come back. I mean, there's always that possibility.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, there's been a lot of bands get back together, so it could happen.
But as far as the changing of sound, I'm gonna hit back on that. Randy has stated too that he was tired of screaming.
Yeah, like he did. He stated that. Shoot, back after Resolution.
It was before this last one.
Yeah, it was. I think it was right after in the Resolution period that he was tired of screaming and.
Don't blame me.
Da 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 da.
For almost 30 years, you probably get tired of it.
Yeah, and he's another one that people are like, oh, he's great or oh, he's overrated. Yeah. But I really dig his style.
I enjoy everybody in the band.
Yeah,
it's meshed well.
They meshed extra well, and like
even the bassist, and he's about the only bassist I know.
It's just kind of heartbreaking that is broken up, and maybe they do keep making music. Like I said, I'll probably still buy their album.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to. I bought every other one, so.
But it's going to be different. Like, even if it don't sound any different, it'll be different.
You'll know. Like, nobody can tell you that Chris left, and you'd still know. Yeah. I feel like.
It's just a pain. But anyway, I guess that kind of covers the breaking news portion.
Yeah. Click the link below. Check out our gear.
Yep.
And subscribe.
Yep. And hit the like button and hit the bell.
And
we hope you get to feeling better about this. We sure hope we will.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time.
Next time.